Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I just want to post this brief audio as I sit in the back of my car and test out this new lapel microphone. So I'm certainly taking advantage of the mobility of having a very small microphone, and I am recording this on my phone, so I accept that the quality may not be as clear as other audios recorded on my USB microphone, but I guess as long as you can hear me clearly, that's the most important thing. So I'd like to talk about today about letting go. I wrote a poem this morning that I haven't yet posted on my Instagram account. That's where I post all of my poetry. And the poem was about experiencing various events in your life and how the events are almost like passing clouds. Now, we may hold certain events more deeply than others. They may affect us more deeply than others. But in essence, they are also just passing clouds. And this is from the perspective of being this oneness, the perspective of there is no me and my life, there is just a happening. Just checking this is still recording, and yes, hope it is. Okay. So, these words came to me because very recently I was putting in an enormous amount of energy, thoughts, emotions. Lots of stress was being generated over certain events in my life. And this made me recollect past events that have been forgotten. And more than a realization, it was almost as if something clicked. A puzzle fell into place. And it allowed me to let go of events in my life. If there is something that, as a person, in my mind, I don't want to do, then this has allowed me to approach these events, these activities, in a new way, knowing that in a day, week, or month, I will most likely not even remember the events that took place. Also to consider, whenever you experience pain that is not resolved in that moment, that pain will leave a residue inside of you that will come up later. So if you imagine all of the past events in your life that have produced pain that has not been resolved, that pain is still inside of you at this moment. And we all have this. We all have pain residue inside of us that comes up in certain situations, or that is triggered in certain situations, and often our reactions, whether we are angry or upset, doesn't just come from that specific situation. It also arises from the pain from previous events as well. So part of my current focus is to not add more pain to my being, to my person, that at some point will need to be dealt with. So as well as almost eradicating my past pains by living in presence, by being present when pain arises, so I'm not adding to it. This is a vital step in deepening your spiritual practice, and these events in themselves of your pain residue is quite a big topic, or it can be discussed at length, so I will look to make another audio specifically talking about our pain residues, since most of us all have one, unless you were born in an awakened state. And it may sound funny, but there are beings in this world today that at a very early age, or perhaps when they came into this world, they were already awakened. So that's what I would like to simply convey today, and also convey something that I am focusing on with my spiritual practice, is simply seeing events as events happening. Just as thoughts come up in the mind, events happen in this life, in this existence. And I see them as just events, not my events, not things that are happening to me, because of course there is no me. That only exists in thought formations, when you are identified with the mind and the thoughts of who you think you are. So perhaps this is something you can also reflect upon as well. And I would just like to take a moment to be present with you. I've got my laptop resting on my lap, so I'm aware of that. If you are sitting or standing, I invite you to become aware of your body, perhaps starting with your feet. Are they grounded on the floor, or are they resting on something? Just become aware of the aliveness, the energy that runs through your feet. And perhaps you can gradually scan up your legs, your calves, your knees, your thighs, and just simply feel or be aware of the energy that is constantly running through. Okay, I'm going to end this audio now, but please feel free to take some extra moments to continue this moment of being present with the rest of your body. And I will try and include a link to my Patreon community, so that will be a space for, hopefully that will grow, and a location where you can post questions or your experiences. You don't have to be a paying Patreon to use this, it's absolutely free, and I will do my best to include a link within my YouTube video in the description, or the description of this podcast episode as well. So I think it's extremely important to have what is referred to as satsang, as a supporting community through this journey where we can connect and share our experiences. And that again will be another audio that's worth exploring. And I will leave you with that. Thank you again for listening and tuning in. I hope you are well. I wish you well. And I will speak to you again very soon.